Okay, my people, I got a little bit of Coach John Gruden's quarterback camp with our second pick of yesterday's draft, Jaxon Dart. And it gives you, if you don't know something about this kid, this gives you a real insight to his mindset. This guy is 180 degrees different in personality than Daniel Jones. This is the kind of person you need in New York City. A go-getter that's going to be in your face and talk shit. So, Coach, we're going to break into where Coach is asking him about his playing style, stuff he's doing, and then we're going to comment.
Big thing for me was probably just like pre-snap indicators, having a really good idea of where I was going to go with the football and how to attack a defense and really understanding why plays are called. And I think that my progression, like you said, I played under Coach Weiss for 3 years, so I think that was a huge advantage of me going into game prep each week. But I think that obviously having, a better understanding of the offense and then at the same time them just giving me, more freedom and kind of the keys to run it was definitely a huge part of my maturation.
Al Davis was the guy I worked for with the Raiders, and he used to say, let me see the best he's got. Let me see the most difficult throws he's made. Ain't nobody in the country that makes more big-time throws than you do. Tight window throws, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
I mean, these are tight-ass window throws. Maybe just a little summary on when to and when not to stick these in there.
Yeah. I think for me, it's definitely situational based. What part of the game are we in? What's the situation? But, just me as a player, I'm pretty aggressive. So, if they're going to play in a disrespectful way and play man coverage and not think that we're going to take chances down the field, I'm going to take advantage of that.
What are some of the keys in your game in throwing a really good deep ball?
Yeah, it's definitely, you want to be as friendly as you can to the receiver. So making sure you put good air on the ball. And, in my mind, I'm always trying to give my receiver a chance to make a play. An overthrow is just an incompletion. You give your guy a chance to make a play on the ball. So, when I put it up there, I have all the confidence that my guy's going to make a play, and I'm just going to give him a chance to go do it.
And you are one tough son of a bitch, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
When you see these rushers beating down on you here, why don't you abort the play and take off? Why do you stand in there and do this?
I just feel like as a quarterback, you got to be the one that sets the tone of the offense, regardless of how many times you're going to get hit and not get hit. And, a lot of the best plays are those where, you're close to getting sacked and you just have a split second to get the ball out of your hand. So,
I mean, honest to God, man, I have seen you stand in there and take some real heat, man. And it's a credit to you. Your players and does Coach Kiffin compliment you on this as one of your greatest strengths?
Yes, sir.
That's the greatest throw I've ever seen.
Yeah, this one.
I mean, this is unbelievable. What'd you do, piss off Duke in pregame warm-up or something?
Yeah, I probably had a few words for him.
Let's talk about your playing style.
Yeah.
Everybody has a playing style. What do you think?
All right, let's pause it for a second because Coach is setting him up. Coach is setting him up because you get ready to go off on him about the fact that he puts himself in harm's way. And there's going to be some shots that we'll see in other parts of this where Jaxon Dart is running down the fucking field and the Mike linebacker's coming up, and rather than run out of bounds when he could have easily ran out of bounds, he gives him the shoulder, and then he's laying on the ground like this. Oh, I'm fucked up. Yo, that's a no-go, man. There's going to be some really funny parts in this. This whole show is 59 minutes and 34 seconds long. I invite you to watch the whole thing. If I could take Brian Daboll's out right now and put Coach Gruden there, and then Louis Riddick in the GM office, with what they have picked so far, I do it. Because I don't trust these guys to drive the fucking Cadillac Blackwing that we just got with a fucking 6-speed manual transmission in a proper way. We need a different driver. But having said that, I know that it's a new season. I know they're here to stay for right now. I got to live with that, and I'm processing. I'm processing through this, okay? All right, let's go back to Coach Gruden.
Your playing style is?
For me, I'm just the ultimate competitor. So, in my mind, whatever it takes to win, I'm going to go out there and do all that I can to accomplish that. And then at the same time, I want to put, everything that I can, on display and for my teammates to know that I'm going to give it all that I got.
Make a note of playing style, will you? We gotta talk about this a little bit. You know, I love this, Jaxon. You're a rugged son of a bitch. You're an old school player. You're like a wing T quarterback.
Yeah.
You're like your dad playing safety at Utah. And I love that. And I think it's impressive. But I want you to change your playing style.
Yes, sir.
I think it's reckless. I think it's careless. And I think it's dangerous. You're the only guy that can't play with a sore right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't play without you. You've come out of some games now.
Right.
You had your ass knocked off and you sucked it up and went back in the game. But just talk to me about some of these hits. Why won't you go out of bounds? Why won't you go down?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. And you're
What
going to
the
be in
fuck,
a
man?
concussion protocol tent, and I'm going to be holding the game plan going, where the hell is Dart at? You know what I mean? I want you to talk to me about this game here against Georgia. Now, you're taking off. You got the first down. What would Gruden tell you to do?
Go out of
Look at
bounds.
this guy.
And what are you going to do?
Not his asshole.
With your right shoulder.
That's not smart.
No, it's not smart. What about this right here? Can we get where?
Out of bounds.
You know, this is insane. You can write it down, Evil Knievel. That's who you are. You're going to jump over a freaking canyon out there in Utah. Is that what you're going to do in your off season? This is insane.
That's fucking evil.
Knevel. Evil Knievel. I mean, you did it at USC. You haven't changed. Why haven't you changed?
Yeah, it's definitely something that when I watch back and in those moments, you know,
Look at this motherfucker.
Like, all right, like that's not smart. It's not a smart hit to take. So that's definitely something I'm gonna get better at. But in my mind, I'm always trying to be +2 and
Plus what?
+2.
What's that?
Anytime you get hit with contact, I want to fall 2 yards forward.
Yeah, well, that's all great, but not anymore.
Yes, sir.
Make a note about quickness. There's 3 kinds of quickness that I want you to keep working on every single day. The mind. We got to get mentally quicker. We got to learn something today. We got to learn something tomorrow. We got to have somebody give me more information the next day. Let me ask you this. What is some of the information that you feel like you need to get better at to become?
Okay, we're going to pause it right there. This is such a great breakdown of detail of what the signal caller position is called for by a veteran coach. He's got a Super Bowl ring. That's a psychopath. Okay? Because make no mistake, John Gruden is a psychopath. There's a reason why they called him Chucky. Because he looks like Chucky. I love this guy. And I swear to God, I would take him, based on just watching this video, I would take Daboll's out in 2 seconds and put Gruden in there as the head coach of the New York Football Giants. And I would lean back because we're going to get a fucking show. We're going to get a show on the field. We're going to get a show on the sideline. And after we get the win, we're going to get a show in the post-game fucking interviews and conferences and shit. All right? That's how much I like this fucking guy for the bravado, for the attitude. And that's what the New York tri-state area needs. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, they all fly in the Giants colors, man. All right? It goes all the way up to halfway up to New York State, almost 3/4, and then it becomes Buffalo's zone for the rest of New York State. Upstate New York is Buffalo. Downstate, the city is New York fucking Giants, okay? That's how it works. So yeah, this kid has got a real vibe and attitude. And he takes a whole bunch of notes. I hope he studies these notes. I think this will stick to him. I think that him and his dad will sit down and watch this, and he'll talk to him about not sacrificing your body. And trust and believe when you're in the fucking NFL, especially the NFL in the NFC East, you playing the Eagles, these motherfuckers are looking to rip your fucking head off. The Cowboys, they're perfect for cheap shots. That's why you got the horse collar. Came from the Cowboys, horse collaring everybody and ripping their fucking knees apart when you're making the fucking tackle. Fuck the Cowboys, okay? Speaking of which, I also would want to give a guy that I just met today, a great guy. I got my Jeremy Shockey jersey on, and he turns around and says to me, "Yeah, Jeremy Shockey, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "He's from the same town I'm from, Aden, Oklahoma. So a shout out to Mike from Aden, Oklahoma. I hope you and your family and everything have a beautiful year. I hope if you don't have a team, you'll root for the New York Football Giants. And shout out to the great Jeremy Shockey. You want to see some good football from a crazy, wild guy from Aden, Oklahoma? Look up Jeremy Shockey, tight end for the New York Football Giants, his highlight reel. It's amazing. And it still breaks my heart that on the road to getting to a Super Bowl, he broke his leg like in a playoff game or the end of season game that stopped him from being able to participate. But hats off to the great Jeremy Shockey, wherever you're at. And hats off to you, Mikey, for recognizing, all right? Aden, Oklahoma, right on. Okay, we're going to get back to a little bit more of Coach Gruden trying to school this kid on not what to do.
The best quarterback.
Yeah, I think that, a big one would be footwork. Making sure that, my drops time up and each hitch is, progressively moving through a progression. And at the same time, I love, every little detail that comes with it. So, I'm always trying to learn and take in as much as I can.
We got to get the arm quicker. It's very quick, man. You got one of the quicker snap releases in college football and that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to get the body quicker. And I mean twitchier. It's twitchy right now, but it's not twitchy enough.
They call it the fast twitch muscle.
How did I get quicker? Did I do some plyometrics? Did I jump some rope? Did I learn something in the meeting room? Did I get my arm quicker? Because it doesn't just happen, right?
Yes, sir.
These 3-level throws, I call them, deep crosses.
Yep.
Get up there on the board, will you?
Let's do it.
I want you to put in a deep cross because I see you running it with different types of protection. Here's one to the tight end against Florida.
Yeah.
You have that clear out route, then you have the deep cross, and then you always have somebody on a shallow cross.
Yeah.
But maybe draw this one right here you guys ran against Georgia last year. And tell me how you read it, and what are the key coaching points in this pattern?
Yes, sir.
What's the name of the concept at Ole Miss?
This one right here was called Super Water.
Super water.
Yeah.
What's water mean?
It's like a Mardi Gras read top down. So we're going to crew rights the formation. You can see it there, this little bunch tight to the tackle. We're going to go lube is the protection, 7-man protection. We're Mike in the middle of the 3 and a 4 down. The back's got one past the point, tight end's got one behind it. And then super water is the concept here.
Super water.
Super
a Mardi
water.
Gras drink, you say?
Yes, sir. So we're going to do a little action.
How deep is that deep cross?
It ranges, based off of man zone. And, against man, it's probably going to be a little shorter just because he has to stair step and come flat. But, he's taught to, in any zone coverage, to chase the heels of the post. That way we can, come right off of that corner's heels and have a good window to lead them and not really be worried about the spot defender because, if the safety takes it away, that's what we're playing off of.
And what's your progression? How do you read it?
Reading it top down. So we're going 1, 2 to 3.
It's a 3-level throw. Right?
Yes, sir.
And most quarterbacks set up to throw the deep cross or the check down.
Yeah.
But in Jaxon Dart's world, you're really looking to throw that post, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And when do you throw it?
Anytime that safety's, not getting depth or, holding his feet like this, I'm going to put it over his head.
Show me this one. I call this pepper with the deep cross. You have a double post with the deep cross. Do you remember this?
Yes, sir.
Show me that. Erase that.
Yes, sir.
You got to go quick here, man. We're at the freaking FFCA. The NCAA and the NFL, they don't want us to have meetings that are very long.
Yeah.
What do you call the double post deep cross concept?
We call that a pump. So the route's a pump, but we call the concept wave.
Dual.
Telling the tight end that he's attached right there in a 2x2 formation. Corey is going to be the protection with the guard pull you see there. We're going to call it wave pump.
Dual left nasty, Corey wave pump.
Yep.
Your penmanship, for a 3.7 GPA, you must use a computer a lot.
You don't like it?
I've seen better.
That's kind of hard to reach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you take criticism or do you get sensitive?
There you
No,
go.
I can take it.
Yeah, no one ever busted my balls when I was coaching. So that's called what?
Right here, the
Yeah.
concept wave
Wave.
pump right here.
What's that mean?
We're going to double move it.
Okay. That's sweet right there.
You like
Somebody's
that?
in the flat.
Yeah.
How'd you read this one right here?
So learn this against man-to-man coverage. He can stair step it, come flat. But that's really only against man. We call it a clear out against zone. I'm just reading it, same thing, 1, 2 to 3.
Have a seat. Is this in your wheelhouse? When Kiffin calls these, do you light up? You
Oh, yeah.
love these plays?
Yeah, I get juiced.
You guys have some weird plays, don't you? This play against Texas A&M, what the hell did you do to them? Nobody covered the guy.
This is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we installed this, we called it sleeper.
Show me what you did.
You're gonna love this.
This is
This you're gonna
A&M,
love.
man. This is big time football. They don't cover the freaking guy. I want this
Awesome.
play.
So we kind of just like drew it up as like a 2-play. You want to get 2 calls in and then go as fast as you can. So we had a good explosive play. We called slot right, and we told J Watt, who's like our savvy, he's our savvy smart receiver, to kind of play it off once we got the explosive play. Okay, we want you to run and go talk to Coach Kiffin. So Coach Kiffin has his playbook in front of his face, and J Watt looks like he's subbing out of the game, and he's talking to Coach Kiffin. And then when the ball snapped, he's going to give him a little signal to go. And they thought he was subbing out, so there's nobody there.
That is freaking cold-blooded, man.
Yeah.
Is that shit legal?
Yeah, it worked. Called it sleeper.
So that's something that you can't do in the NFL. That ain't gonna work. They're gonna be looking at you like a hawk. You're gonna try some old slick ass college bullshit like that. You're gonna get your head taken off. But the fact that the mind is working this way, again, I can sit here and just laugh and show you this whole damn thing. That's not what this video is about. Just to give you an idea of who Jaxon Dart is as a player, how his mind thinks, but also something that a lot of people that may watch football, and maybe they're more of the casual guy that watches it and says, oh, okay, this is just, 2 sides just smashing into each other. There is extreme rhyme and reason with what the fuck is being done on the field. And this is not checkers. This is fucking chess. And sometimes, like a guy like Coach Reed of the fucking Kansas City Chiefs, he's playing 2D and 3D chess on your ass, giving you all these different weird configurations around the quarterback. This is my major criticism of Brian Daboll's, that his configurations are so milquetoast that a guy who coached Division III with one bad eye would come up with a way to defend what the fuck you're doing when you have the same running back behind the quarterback in some bullshit cheap ass I formation instead of doing some different formations with different personnel groups. And then utilizing that personnel that's there, i.e. tight end early in the first quarter and second quarter. And over again, it's the same thing. You use tight ends because they're bigger than D-backs. You use tight ends because you want the D-backs to compress, that you want them to be nervous about these tight end plays that they're getting 3 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards. 5 yards, missed tackle, now turns to a first down. Wake up, Brian Daboll, and use your fucking tight ends. And don't be an asshole, because the only way we can win football games is by utilizing and having a dynamic tight end play. Jason Witten kicking our ass for years with the Cowboys. And now they got the other guy, Schultz. Because they throw the football to the tight end regular basis. We got the great Daniel Bellinger. Shout out to the great Daniel Bellinger, who never gets the football because Brian Daboll is too fucking stupid to throw the football to the guy. Utilize the tools that you have in order for success. As that keeps happening in the first, they're going to get to a point, you come out with a tight end configuration, but meanwhile you got neighbors over here and Wandell and Robinson standing next to each other, and you got Slay on the other side in the configuration with the fucking 2 tight ends or possibly 3 tight ends or an H-back, and they're like, what the fuck is this? Then you fucking send your tight ends on a crossing pattern, And they're so busy bringing up the safety and the D-backs to try to stop whatever you're doing with the tight ends, which you were successful with because you did it in the first quarter and you did it in the fucking second quarter, that now there goes a fucking go route that a guy like this dreams about having to Neighbors or to Slay, or a fucking little, a longer crossing route with Wandale, your possession receiver. Man, this milquetoast bullshit is not going to make it. And when they look back at game film of what you did previously, and you're 3-14, and then you're 6-11, come on, motherfucker. So that's basically it. I could keep going with this shit, but I invite all you guys out there, watch this thing, and you'll get a better understanding of Jaxson Dart. And you'll get a better understanding on why it is that perhaps, especially judging by Coach Gruden's reaction to what type of player he is, why the Giants chose Jaxson Dart over Shedeur. So that's what this is about too. As always, let's go New York Football Giants. We're getting close to time for the second part of the draft. We'll be checking it out. Let's go New York Football Giants. Deuces.